we have a lot to talk about because Donald Trump has been indicted again, this time in Georgia. He is facing 13 charges, including racketeering, soliciting a public officer to violate his oath of office, conspiring to commit forgery, and conspiring to file false documents. Trump wasn't the only person charged. 18 other people were indicted, including some of his closest allies, like his former personal counsel, Rudy Giuliani, former White House staff, Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, lawyers John Eastman, Sidney Powell, and 14 others. The indictment was brought by the district attorney in Fulton County, Georgia, Fani Willis, after more than a 2-year investigation. Here is what she said about it last night.
The indictment alleges that rather than abide by Georgia's legal process for election challenges, the defendants engaged in a criminal racketeering enterprise to overturn Georgia's presidential election result.
So Trump and his campaign have responded, calling this another witch hunt. He's also vowing to release a report next week on Georgia election fraud that he says will lead to a, quote, complete exoneration. So for more on this, we are joined by veteran trial attorney Mark Eiglarsh. Mark, we love you, buddy. Thank you for being here. You got to break it down for us.
Okay, well, this one's for real. I mean, they're talking about racketeering. This goes above and beyond what was alleged in D.C. They're saying he's the Al Capone, the John Gotti of the election fraud world. They've listed 161 specific overt acts that he and the 18 others engaged in. This is going to be a major trial in state court.
Well, let's get back to that word you just used, racketeering. That's a word that I'm sure Jeff and I only heard when we watched Goodfellas, but this is real life now, and I know it's used to target organized crime, the mob. But how does it apply in this case?
Well, some would say if you're on the right, you know, it doesn't apply. It's not meant to be used in a case like this. It's meant to imprison mobsters. But that's not exactly true. That statute has been expanded both in state and federal court to include scenarios where you allegedly have a ringleader and multiple people working for him for an enterprise with a common goal, and that was to commit acts of fraud, perjury, theft, lots of other crimes in furtherance of his claim that the election was stolen from him.
So, Mark, some people are saying that the prosecutor in this case is reaching with these racketeering charges. I mean, we're focused now on racketeering right now. Do you think this is a stretch? Isn't there enough here besides the racketeering?
If what she's alleging is true, and I say if, because we don't know if what she put out there is real. We don't know, because again, a grand jury, they'd indict a ham sandwich. We don't know what could be proven. But if it can be proven, then I think that not just on an intellectual level, but as a practical matter, yes, these charges are appropriate if they can prove it.
All right, let's talk about the other folks charged here, and there are a lot of them. What are they accused of doing? And may I ask you about the, what I like to call le flip-flop, where you flip 18 chances worth of someone flipping to save themselves?
Yes, and these people cannot be promised a pardon because it's a state court. It's not a federal offense. So these people now are going, I mean, Giuliani's literally going, can I do prison time in Georgia? Really? And all the others are saying the same damn thing. And they're thinking, okay, prosecutors, what do you give me for? What kind of Scooby snacks can I earn to be on Team USA? And there is no way all these people are going to be sitting next to Trump at that defense table. They will wind up on the prosecution's list, and guarantee you there will be some, if not many, saying, yeah, we did this and we knew it was not legit.
Wow. Tori, I like your le flip-flop
Le flip-flop?
Yeah, very technical term. I liked it almost as much as your 5 o'clock shadow there, Mark. All right, Mark, we got to get back to it. Listen, we go way back, right? Okay, so we're already hearing Trump and his campaign, and they are claiming that this case targets his right to free speech. So is this a good defense for him? And if not, how would you, Mark Eiglarsh, defend Trump?
I think it's a great defense. It doesn't mean that it's valid, but that's the defense you go with. They continue to prosecute me over and over. They keep framing me like the Mona Lisa. I did nothing wrong. Look how there's a two-tiered system, one for Democrats and one for Republicans. Look, if they're coming for me, they could come for you. And then his base then is empowered to believe that with more indictments, his theories continue. And here's the best part. The people running against Trump, like DeSantis and others, they don't then use it against Trump. They say, that's right. Well, there's a two-party, system here, and it's unfair. So that further supports what Trump is alleging. And I think that'll help him for sure in the election and maybe even in court.
Well, I think you just answered this, but I want to make sure. If Trump wins the White House, he cannot pardon himself because this is a state case, correct?
You are correct. That as well as the New York state case. So he's got 2 out of the 4 that come from a state system. On those, nobody can touch the convictions if he's convicted.
Unbelievable. Mark is sticking around. You're going to stick around with us, right, Mark?
Am I? All right, sure.
It's 5 o'clock show.
He's going to talk more about
between the break. Yeah.
Please do. Just kidding. He's going to talk more about this latest Trump indictment, plus hear Hillary Clinton's viral reaction to these new charges. We'll be right back. Trump's latest indictment has sparked a furious reaction from folks on the right. So let's talk about it. So, for example, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy said, quote, "Now a radical DA in Georgia is following Biden's lead by attacking President Trump and using it to fundraise her political career." Republican Senator Ted Cruz said the timing here is nakedly political. Every time bad news comes out about Hunter or Joe Biden, you can set a stopwatch, and within hours, some clown goes and indicts Donald Trump again. So meantime, Hillary Clinton is going viral for her reaction to the news. She was on Rachel Maddow's show last night. Listen to what she had to say.
I don't know that anybody should be satisfied. This is a terrible moment for our country to have a former president accused of these terribly important crimes. The only satisfaction may be that the system is working.
And once again, we are joined by veteran trial attorney Mark Eiglarsh, back with us. Thank you, Mark.
My pleasure.
Yeah, well, you sound like you mean it.
There were a lot of words that we shared from some people, including referring to Fani Willis, the DA of Fulton County, as a clown, apparently. But some of us have been following Fani's work, and I'm curious for your reaction, because if you know anything about the RICO case, YSL, Young Thug and Gunna, Fani was just being accused of not defending or basically indicting black men. So I don't know if Fani really plays this either way. What are your thoughts on Fani?
I think that the people who are pointing their finger at this DA are doing it because they don't like the outcome of her investigation. That's clear. Obviously, if she indicted a Democrat, I suspect there would be a different opinion being offered by a number of people, including Mr. Cruz. So what I would say is, let's see if she's got the goods. Like any prosecutor, they come out with an allegation, right? It goes to a grand jury. The grand jury says, all right, here are the charges. Let's see if it can be proven. And if it can be, will you change your rhetoric? Will you stop pointing your finger at the prosecutor? Will you say, you know what, maybe she brought a good case and maybe racketeering was appropriate? I don't know. My guess is there'll be some more excuses if he's convicted.
Which is funny because it's the Law and Order Party, which is interesting. How does this indictment differ from the other 3 he's facing? And I really want your opinion on this. Which one do you see as the most serious threat to Trump? And I mean prison time.
Yeah, I think it's this one. I do, because first of all, it's not federal. Any ones that are federal, you say, well, maybe someone could pardon him in the future. Right. Maybe he'll pardon himself. So you start with the 2 state court cases, the one from New York and then this one. And this one, think about what he's being accused of. If he's convicted, how does a judge not give him severe prison time? Now, I looked it up. The average sentence for racketeering in Georgia is about 30 to 37 months. But you're talking about gambling, maybe some organized crime. You're not talking about undermining democracy. What does that get you? That should get you a very severe sentence.
Wow. Mark, I thought this was fascinating. On CNN last night, Van Jones said that these indictments were going to become Trump's campaign. No one's going to be asking him about policy or domestic issues because this is what anyone will be talking about. What is your take on that? Is this going to backfire in regard to the Democratic Party?
Jones is absolutely right. I mean, you know, back in the day, if a potential candidate was even accused of DUI, people would run away from him. Now, all of these allegations come forth, and it only further fuels his numbers. It's unprecedented. So with every time he's indicted, it further fuels the base. It further fuels the argument that they're targeting him over and over. This is unfair. And he's a master at making it seem like this means that they can come after us, meaning other Republicans. And so we've got to fight, fight, fight. It's brilliant.
Wow. All right. Well, Mark, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate you. To learn more about Mark, or if you have a legal question, check out his website, speaktomark.com, or just scan this QR code and it'll bring you right there. You can also pick up Mark's book, Be Happy by Choice, wherever books are sold. Mark, thank you again for breaking it down. You always provide the best clarity. We appreciate you. Bye, Mark.
My pleasure. I look forward to the next indictment to see you all.
It probably will happen.